What is going on YouTube? We are back with another one. Now in this drop, I want to cover off the overall market with you. There's some things behind the scenes you're going to want to know. Then I want to cover off some popular stocks that are circulating right now. So as always, I've got an action-packed one for you. Before I go ahead and dive into it, all I ask is that you guys hit that like button for me. If you're new, join the movement by hitting that subscribe. Now, out there in the markets today, you would have noticed the major indices were showing some stability. They weren't plummeting like they were yesterday. This isn't because there was positive news out. As a matter of fact, that Evergrande situation that I covered off with you yesterday, that's that property developer in China that's indebted, crumbling, under 300 billion right now, is still very much on the forefront of the market's minds, especially because they've got an interest obligation due on Thursday this week. That's around 85 million that they have to pay. Now the whole world will be watching very closely to see if they can meet that obligation and avoid any risk of default. That being said, the markets were showing stability today because it's a function of the technicals. Now check this out. Up on screen we have the SPY. Now these two candles, they're the last two trading days. If you guys remember, we had a major break of trend, and that was that 50-day EMA. That's that yellow line that you guys can see that the markets was holding true to over the entire year. So we had a break of trend, and now we're trending very close to the 100-day EMA. And the reason why we're seeing stability out there in the markets is because market participants, like the traders for example, they know all of this and they're keeping a watchful eye out for when the next support in the SPY is going to be, the next base. And naturally, if you break the 50-day, you're going to be looking at the 100-day. So given we are trending so close to that 100-day EMA right now, you're going to get a lot of buying activity in anticipation. This could be the new support, the new base for the SPY that it might collect around or could bounce off. That being said, I did some light buying out there in the market, sticking to some my key themes like commodities, like shipping that are more short term, and then my more longer term high conviction plays in areas of financials. Now the reason why it's important to monitor the SPY's movements at the moment is because given that major break of trend, the SPY is pretty much governing market movements, unless you're in a stock like Lucid for example, which is one step removed for the time being. Now the question is, can markets still fall from these levels? Now check this out. From the peak, we saw markets come down about 5% at the moment. Now historically, average peak to trough in the SPY has been about 14%, so there's still further room this can fall, especially because there's a lot of themes lingering over the markets right now, be it Delta cases or supply chain issues impacting many companies and their performance over the next couple of months. Also, the Evergrande situation, as I told you guys, is still very much alive, and that risk of default. And we got the Fed speaking this week. If there's things the market doesn't like that is being said, it could shatter that 100-day EMA. That being said, if we break that 100-day EMA, the markets will be looking very closely at that 200-day, and that comes in around 415. Now from the top, that would be a corrective move of about 8.5%. Okay, so still not at 14, but this 200 could act as the next form of support, the next base for the SPY. Now at these levels, I'll be buying with a lot more velocity, given you'll see cheaper prices in many different industries that haven't come down so much as it stands, like the tech space for example, which is still very much overvalued. Now, for my options guys out there, if we saw a break of that 100-day EMA and we saw SPY around 430, it could act as an opportunity to place puts, because as I say, the next base could be about 415 at that 200 days. So there's a lot to look forward to as we go over the next couple of weeks and months in these markets. Alright guys, so it's that time. I'm going to go through some stock picks. Remember, these aren't my plays. These are the ones that are out there in the markets, circulating, creating the buzz. Many people online saying that they are buys, so I'm going to let you know what's going on under the hood so you're best informed when you're out there in the markets. You get a fresh perspective on the plays. Remember, these aren't any buy and sell recommendations. This isn't financial advice. Let's kick things off with the first one. That's Lucid Group, ticker symbol LCID. Now, last time we spoke about the play, they were trending at $20. Now at that point I said it looks like they've got more gas, more rocket fuel to move up, and now we're looking at a $27 play. Now the news has been gaining momentum, it's been snowballing, helping that stock price up, with analysts increasing price targets or giving price targets on the play that the market has liked. Also they got that highest EPA rating, and we're seeing some news on productions and deliveries as well. Okay, so again, all contributing to the momentum we are seeing in this one. Now, what's sticking out to me like a sore thumb is on the RSI. They have now hit the overbought threshold. That's at 70. Last time we spoke about play on the RSI, they're trading around 45.50. Okay, so they had room to move up from a technical point of view. The last time they were overbought on the RSI was back in June, and very quickly they lost 40% of their value from there. So that being said, if you're in Lucid as a trade, you might want to start thinking about taking profit from the play at these levels. Okay, there's a price reversal, you can lose a lot of your gains that you have made on the run up, on this most recent run up, or at least be setting those stop losses or the trailing stop losses. So if there is a reversal in the price action, it can again kick you out of the play. You can net those great returns. If this one does move up a few notches, you're still in the game. Next up, that's DraftKings, ticker symbol DKNG. Another one creating a lot of buzz out there. A lot of people saying that they are buys. Last time we spoke about the play, I said they're in a major downtrend and you want to hold off and wait till they hit a key line of support. Now that's been playing out since then. The stock is down around 10%. Now on the RSI, they're very quickly approaching being oversold. They're not yet there. They're at about 38, oversold stocks at 30. Now if you picked up DraftKings the last 2 times they were oversold, you'd made a lot of money on that bounce. Now I'm expecting them to hit a key line of support, but that comes in around 10% below the current stock price, which is around that $48, $49 level. Okay, so I wouldn't look at DraftKings until they hit the high 40s. Up next, we've got ChargePoint, ticker symbol CHPT. Now, still sticks to what I was saying on this one a couple of drops back. That is, they've got that visible support at that $20 mark. But that's no secret in the market. Therefore, you are going to have a lot of people who have set stop losses on the play just below support. Now, if they do break support, you could have these stop losses go off like firecrackers, which would create downwards velocity in the play. That being said, if you go in at these levels, I would go in with that tight stop loss at that 1950 or that 925 mark, so you're protected on the downside. Now there's many reasons why it could bounce from here. It's a fast growing business in a fast growing industry, but I think what's on the investors' minds is that last secondary offering that they did and the potential for them to continue diluting their shareholders with more offerings in the future. Up next, we've got Robinhood, ticker symbol RH. Now Cathie Wood brought this one recently. Given this is a newly listed play, there's not too much technicals to go off these levels. All right. However, the fundamentals play more weighting in this situation. Now with Robinhood, they've got some extremely high comps to compete with over the next couple of earning seasons. Okay, so I think they're going to have difficulty impressing investors from that standpoint. And given the regulatory issues surrounding the company, this is one that I would hold off from personally until very cheap prices do emerge. Now on the RSI, this one isn't oversold, so it's not a screaming buy right now for me at these levels. If I was to see this one plummet, it might be one I might take a look at as a trade play. Next up, we got NIO, ticker symbol NIO, another one creating buzz with the stock pickers right now. Last time we spoke about the play, they're trading around $38. I was expecting them to hit that support of $34.35, and now we have arrived. On the RSI, they're in touching distance of being oversold. The last time NIO was oversold, if you picked up the play, it then moved up 70%. Now, normally, it looks like this is a good time to pick up a play like this, but markets have evolved, things have changed since then. China has very low sentiment around their companies, and also supply chain issues is still very much impacting these car companies. All right, so we've got to take that into fact. I think the fundamentals outweigh the technicals in this scenario. So this is one where before I would make entry on the play, I want to see at least one of the pressures on the business being eased, okay? Whether that's the supply chain issues, whether that's the sentiment around China, or whether that's the overall shape of the market before making entry into a play like this. Alright guys, so those are the plays I've got for you in this one. If you guys got any questions for me, leave them down below and I'll get back to you. On your way out, make sure you guys like that comment section for me. If you're new, join the movement by hitting that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.